Hey everybody, welcome back to 2 Acres Sun, I tell you. Hey everybody, welcome back to 2 Acres Evolving. Today I'm gonna finish up cleaning up the flower beds. Today I'm gonna be working mainly in the backyard, and then if I have time, I'm gonna go over to the lot next door and do a little bit of work over there. This back flower bed that I have, Gator has gotten in here and has done some digging. So let me turn the camera around and show you what it's looking like. All right, so as you can see, Gator has had a little bit of fun out here and been digging in the flower beds. The other day he dug over here, and so this is looking awesome. But luckily he has not dug up any of my plants. So there's all the hostas. He's dug next to a couple of them, but he hasn't dug any of them completely up, which I guess is good. So if anybody needs a dog that can come and dig out their flower beds, I've got the perfect one for you. So I'm going to be working in that flower bed, and then I'm also going to be working in this flower bed as well. I have this Russian sage over here, and then I have one over on the other side as well. I'm going to be cutting back the zebra grass plants. They're looking okay. When we got the snow the other day, they were pretty much completely flattened. And the lemongrass plants, I'm going to be pulling out as well. They're not looking too hot. So I have those two areas to clean up, and then I have one other thing that I want to show you. So after I get those two areas cleaned up, I'm going to come in here and clean this trellis planter up. I have the Supertunia Vista Snowdrift, which has done really good this year. Oh, my shadow's in the way. It's done really good this year. And with the really cold temperatures that we got and the snow covering them, they're not looking all that great. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean this up and cut back the clematis that I have in here. Well, I was digging out these lemongrass plants because they won't survive the winter and they won't come back next year. And I cut the drip line in two. So I think I have the parts to fix it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this fixed real quick. Okay, so luckily this is an easy fix. So basically all I'm gonna use is this straight connector. I'm gonna connect it to this side and then connect it to this side as well, and then that will seal it and it won't leak or anything. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut that right there, and I'll trim off a little bit over here, and then just connect this on. Well, I nicked it in 2 different spots, it looks like. So I had to go get one more connector, and then I got some more tubing here. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it back a little ways. And then put the connector on this side. And then I just need a piece of tubing to go in between here. So I'll say about there. There. So now I'm just going to turn the water on and make sure there's no leaks or anything like that. Alright, I have the water turned on and everything looks good. The water that you see dripping out is from the emitter holes. So it looks like the connectors are working. Perfect. Alright, so it's the next day, and I got the area with all the trees cleaned up. I got the holes all covered and everything. I need to go get some more mulch to cover everything up, but for the most part, everything looks good. However, it's the next day now, and look at what I just walked out to. I am about to go crazy. I don't know what these dogs are doing. I was thinking that they were digging at the roots of the trees, but we have a long trench dug right here, and I'm wondering if there's moles or something out here that they're digging at. So now I'm going to clean this area up, and then I'll be done with this spot, and then I'm going to move over to the lot next door. Okay, I have the holes covered up for the most part, and it doesn't look too horrible. It definitely looks a whole lot better with it all mulched. I don't have my truck right now, so I'm going to have to wait on the mulch. I'm not going to be able to get any today. And the rock pathway, I am going to have to go through there and pick out all of the mulch. I went through with a water hose and washed it a little bit to see if that would work, and that's working for all the dirt. Washing all the dirt off the rocks. But I have all this mulch that the dogs have thrown up here, so I'm just gonna have to come through here and get all that out. But I don't have time to do that right now because I need to get over to the lot next door and clean up an area over there. So if any of you out there need your flower beds tilled up, I have 3 dogs that can do an awesome job for you. So the next area that I'm gonna be working on is over here. I have this grouping of trees right here. Some of the trees in there are gonna have to come out. Like, you can see the cedar trees that are in there. Those would have looked really awesome if they were taken care of. But I have quite a few cedar trees on my property, and 90% of them have to go because they weren't taken care of, and they were allowed to grow wherever. And since they grew in this grouping of trees, they didn't get enough sunlight. So the branches on them look horrible. So unfortunately, the cedar trees in here are gonna have to come out eventually. But the reason why I wanted to show you this specific area is because it's got a nice grouping of trees for the most part. And I think I'm gonna do a big flower bed around here and put a lot of shade plants in there. And then on the outside where it gets all sun, I can put some sun plants out too, maybe some shrubs and hydrangeas, something like that. But I need to get this area cleaned up. There's a pile of junk pretty much over here that was here before, that was left here by the previous owners. And when this area was all wooded, it wasn't that big of a deal of this sitting here, but now that it's all cleared out and I can see it every day, I want it gone. So I've got a large branch here that needs to come out, and then there's some old railroad ties and some bricks. The railroad ties will be easy, I'll just burn those because they're not in good shape at all. And then the cinder blocks, I could probably use those for a project later on down the road. So I'll just stack those up in my backyard where I store a bunch of stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started and clear this area out, and I'll probably get the lawnmower out here and mow this area because there's a lot of leaves and a bunch of dead weeds and stuff. So I'll probably get the lawnmower and clean it up, and then I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. All right, I got this top section cleaned up for the most part, and it looks a whole lot better without having all that junk piled up. This top section, I don't know if you can tell very well on the camera, but I have a top section up here, and then it slopes down pretty steep, and then there's a bottom section down there. I was thinking about doing a retaining wall right here and flattening all this out, but I think I've changed my mind. Now that I'm out here and cleaning this area up, I think this area will be really good for some hydrangeas. Hydrangeas want really well-drained soil, and with this being on a slope, the water will run off really well. So I think this will be perfect right here where it slopes down. And this back part over here is on the south side of all these trees, so it gets full sun, so that'll be perfect. So I think I may do some hydrangeas and some other shrubs up here on this top part. And then down below here, I'm going to plant a bunch of shade plants, because when all the trees have leaves, this is pretty much full shade. And I've still got to go in, there's a dead tree right there, and then the cedar trees that don't look good, I've got to cut those out and clean this area up. I wanted to get this section down here done today as well. However, this video is going to be a day late as it is, so I think I'm going to split these up into 2 parts and start on this area down here tomorrow. I'm off work all week this week, so I should have plenty of time to get this area cleaned up. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope all of you have a very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you in the next one.